I'm going to be starting IVF probably next week, so I'm going to talk to you about a PAP. It's not what you think. I am calling it a PAP because it is called Prepare a Partner. I thought it was pretty creative, personally. Here's what I did. Okay. So my husband, my poor, sweet, wonderful husband, sat down at breakfast this morning. He made me eggs. He got everything set up. And I said, all right, listen, I'm about to be psychotic, I think. I've never done IVF, so my assumption is I'm going to be an absolute lunatic because the list of meds that I am choosing to shoot my body up with, I can't even pronounce them. I have no idea what they're doing. And I just had to be on estrogen and progesterone for my Asherman surgery, and that made me insane. That made me fight with him. We had a good solid 3 fights where I would lose my train of thought, but I'm so naturally confrontational that I would die on that hill until I was crying and apologizing. So I lost it. I was psycho. So the PAP. All right. This is what I did. I told him I did not like how I behaved with you. I was out of line and I don't know what's coming. All I know is I will have some sort of reaction emotionally and physically, obviously, to the amount of medication that I am choosing, our journey choosing to put into my body. So I recommend that you do this because it went really well for us. I just told him, here is how you can show up for me and support me. It's not like I was asking him to do anything crazy or certain chores or anything like that. My husband is, he's incredible. He helps me so much in general. It was more of a, he's more of a, how do I explain this without insulting him? He's a boy. He's more of a boy. He doesn't have like an emotional gauge the way that I do. I'm a very complex thinker. If I'm upset about something, I'm going to tell you 15 different ways and different angles and why I am justified to feel the way I feel. And he's like, does not bother me. I am not sad. And so it's hard for him sometimes if I'm having a big reaction to something to first understand my way of thinking and second, how to kind of support me, if that makes sense. I'll give you an example. You know, I've had a lot of pregnancy losses and sometimes I will just be like crying and he'll stare at me and just say, I don't know what to say right now. So this is what we decided on. I told him, when I am having a large emotional response or I'm concerned about something, and if I let out a whole vent sesh and I look at you to help me, what I would say would work best is if you don't use the phrase, I don't know what to say right now. It will go a long way if you just hug me and just like hold me really tight and say that you appreciate what I'm doing physically to my body in order to hopefully have a child one day. And I feel like that will be enough to just calm me down, because if I am losing it during the medication phase and he's just staring at me like, I don't know what to say to you right now. The second thing that we decided on is if it's like a small task that to him seems kind of unnecessary. For example, if I start to overthink, like, did you unplug the TV or something stupid like that, where it's like, you don't need to unplug the TV when we leave. Like, we always leave it plugged in. But if all of a sudden my brain decides, you know what, we're going to be worried about that today. We're going to be worried about it, and that's what we're going to focus on, and we're going to obsess about it. Instead of arguing, if it's a very small task, just do it for the 2 weeks that I'm doing all the shots. And if it's something that's like completely psycho, then approach it with like it's not off the table, but let's talk through it so that it makes more sense to me. That way it's not just like, no, you mess. It's more like let's walk through this together and understand why it might be an unreasonable request. And then last, I just told him we need to keep in mind that during these 3 weeks, there's going to be 3 people in this relationship, and not in the interesting LA way. Oh, did I just roast LA? Kind of did. Not in that way, but in the, it's your wife, and it's you, and it's the Hulk. Like her alter personality, her interesting little spicy spin. So there's 3 people in the relationship. I am somebody that is reasonable and can like chat and talk things through, but when there's a second side of me that is out and running rampant and I don't understand it, we're gonna have to navigate that and we're gonna have to figure that out. So it's just asking him to keep that in mind. That way, if he's gonna react to something, if I seem a little bit extreme, he'll pause and just remember that I'm going through a lot. Seems reasonable. That was our PAP, prepare partner. I think it's smart. I really do, because again, we get along so well and we do so well together as a couple, but I just did the Asherman surgery and I had to be on progesterone and estrogen and we were fighting and I don't want to do that again. So it was a good way to kind of have that discussion ahead of time, give him the tools to help support me, because one thing we need to remember is our partners can't read our minds. Like I do sometimes put that on him and I'm just like, why didn't you just know that about me? You've known me for 10 plus years. Why didn't you just know that? And that's really an unfair expectation of them, even if we're going through a lot in order to have a family. It's just very unfair to assume that they're just gonna anticipate our every need. And giving them the tools that you know will work for you and that will make the IVF process smoother, I'm really hoping will pay off. Now, who knows? This might all be thrown out the window and I'm just gonna burn the house down. Like that might still happen. My natural default in life is conflict, which is something I'm working on, but that is definitely, I'm not somebody that just sits by. So he knows that about me, and that's why the prep seemed appropriate. That's all. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm excited to start IVF. I am cautiously optimistic. I think it's going to be good. I think I'll be able to handle it. But again, I did want to just give us the best possible shot as a couple. We don't need that stress on top of everything. Sorry for the messiness in the background. And no, I'm not sorry. This is my home. You can deal with this in that laundry basket right there. Have a good day. I hope that I'm not too psycho. If you got psycho during your cycle, please give me tips, because I really don't know what to expect. He told me that I was prepping him for, I don't know Marvel, but he said Bruce Banner? Banner? All the Marvel people are gonna come for me. The guy that the Hulk is before he turns into the big green guy. He told me that it was like Bruce was talking to him about how to handle himself when he turns into the big green guy. Which, if I was told that during an IVF cycle, I'd probably be like, so you're calling me a big green guy? And I'm just massive and green and fat and you don't love me anymore? That might happen. So I'm glad that he said that now. Have a good day. That's all. That's my little chat for the day. Bye.